Mittels. Create a football fiesta. Copa City, the first football tycoon.
We are live at Gamescom and we have an appointment with Copa City. And this is a very unique game, and I have the opportunity to speak to one of the devs and maybe some introducing words from you.
Okay. My name is Michael. I'm a vision holder for this game, so I'm making the role of game designer or lead game designer, game director of this game.
So maybe in a nutshell, what is this game?
Basically, we are speaking about the combination of toy tycoon, city builder, and also a sports team game, which is practically comes from football. So basically, you are responsible as a city organizer to organize the game on the pitch, but also the entertainment throughout the city. So basically, the main concept is to be focused on the whole organization and backdoor side of the story.
So I spotted a logo from Arsenal, from Bayern Munich, so license is a big thing in football in general. You have now 3 clubs, 3 more to come. What is the challenge when you ask clubs, hey, can we get the license? How can we imagine how it works?
Oh, I can say that at the very beginning it was very hard to convince the clubs with the concept we have, because it's pretty fresh and unique. So we have to spend a lot of time to let them understand what the game is all about. However, when we are thinking about the concept and when they understood that, they even say that this is something they very need in terms of communication with the people, because they are trying to communicate with younger generations, especially in the new, let's say, themes and aspects. Of course, we know that there is on the market a lot of very recognizable football games, but mainly considered about the football on the pitch, so the players. But there is no game on the market that is responsible for speaking about the stories about the football fans. So this is where we are, and for them it's a good platform to communicate with these people, because basically we are making the game about the fans, so about the players actually.
That's pretty interesting, because we know some football manager games, but nothing like this in particular. How does the campaign work? Because I can imagine that you don't have a league like we know in football because of the licenses. So how does it work?
Basically, in the game we have 3 different game modes. One of them is a campaign, which provides you the 3 different games to organize in 3 different cities. We had announced 2 of them, so Berlin and Warsaw. So basically, there is a story of organizing 3 different games. There is no let's say any kind of tournament or championship. It's like you are organizing 3 different out of context games. So we are trying also to find stadiums which are pretty neutral in terms of the clubs. So you are not the representative of a particular club, you are the host of the city. So you are agnostic due to the clubs. So you have to find a way to, let's say, keep the interest of the fans from one club and another and make them happy on the both sides of the city, right? So this is the one mode. Second mode is a single game scenario, so you are choosing the set of the clubs and the city and you are playing, and we will combine it with some sort of, let's say, community functionalities that gives you to compare the results between one another. And the third one is a challenging mode, so you have a already map set, already club set, and you have one particular problem to resolve, and you have only 40 minutes to do that. So actually there are 3 different modes that gives you the competence of finding yourself a good source of entertainment.
So what we've heard earlier is that it's a peaceful game, so there's no riot or like fans fighting each other, but there's a security aspect. So how does that involve in the game?
Yeah, this is a very good question, because we are balancing between showing the football from the riot perspective and showing positive side of the football. So from our perspective, there is a tensions between the clubs, but they are not brutal ones. So we are not lying to the realistic part of the story that people from the different clubs are having tensions between each other, and we are showing it, but not in the brutal way. However, security is one part of this story. So you have to keep people safe in the districts all throughout the city to make the game happen. So also that security level comes from the tensions. So practically we are using the things from the reality, but not in the brutal sense.
Okay. So is there also like robbery if there's not enough police?
We are saying that there is no things like robbery, but there are things like, for example, that fans from one club are too close to another, and that gives the tensions, and you have to launch for example, security forces to separate them on a safety zones, right?
Okay. So it's a peaceful game. Does it automatically mean that it's for a younger audience, or?
Yeah, we are trying to do so. So basically, we are something between to be a family approach game. So, for example, father can play with his son, showing the traditions of the club and stuff like that. But also, we don't want to be as, let's say, agnostic in terms of the tensions as it is. We want to show some tensions, show the character and temper of people, but as I mentioned, not in the violent way. So I think the game is also targeted for the younger players, but not only.
Okay. I have another question when it comes to the career mode, because you build up the city and the stadium and everything to get ready for the game.
Yes.
What happens when the game is over? Do you have like options to reconstruct the city, or is it already prepared for the next match?
In the campaign mode, you are switching to another city. So basically, in the campaign mode, you have a 3 different city when the campaign is happening. However, when you are thinking about the readjusting the city, for example, in the endless mode or stuff like that, this is more like crucial in terms of finding a proper setup to the proper clubs, because we are treating the clubs as a nations. So basically, they are their own economical inputs to the game economy. They have their own buildings and structures, and also they have own demographic structure of the fans. So this is very important to understand that the preparation of the city is very close related to the club setup. So, for example, setup Flamengo versus Bayern, for example, in Warsaw, will be completely different than the same setup in Berlin because of the city characteristic and the city economy input. So there is we are treating clubs as a very impactful factors for the gameplay. So if I have to imagine that I will stay with the same setup for the different clubs, I will fail. So you have to do the adjustment to the clubs.
When it comes to the club itself, like Flamengo and Bayern, how does that impact the fan culture or culture in general? Are there differences, or are they like the same, but they have different logos? Just
No. We have a very deep understanding of what clubs are different between each other, and we have 4 pillars in terms of that. One of them, as I mentioned before, is the economical aspect. So some club has its own preferences in terms of the needs in the city. Some is don't. They have unique structures to build. So each club has its unique structures and unique models to build. The third pillar is the demographic structure of the fans. So diversity of the fans with their own needs is different. And the fourth one is the audio and visual components. So if you are playing Bayern Munich, you will hear different sounds, and we're playing, for example, Flamengo, you also hear something different.
Okay. Maybe when it comes to fan culture, beer is something very related to football, but I guess it's not in the game because of family friendly.
We will not call it beer itself, but there will be a food court with some kind of drinks, like soft drinks distribution. So you can, reimagine that something happened.
Okay, got it. It's a management game, but then sometimes there are game days. What happens? Can we watch the actual game?
We are not showing the game on the pitch itself, but we show the situation to the very last moment until the first whistle blows. So you will be able to see the locker rooms when the players are preparing inside them. You will see the coaches who are approaching the city to the stadium with the clubs and stuff like that. But we are intentionally not showing the game on the pitch due to the fact that there are other games who are doing that. We don't want to be in this area. We want to show all the background part to be like completion of the football world in the gaming industry, right?
if the game is over, is there like a situation where you can lose the game?
You can fail. You can fail as it is a typical
Okay.
economical survival game. You can fail due to the fact that you are not fulfilling the needs of the fans. You are not taking care about the security. And then there is a let's say rounding snowball of the negative events that you are not making proper choices in terms of the dilemma that the game is facing to you and stuff like that. So you are able to fail during the
like
process.
game over, or like,
There is a game over, that you are losing control about the organization process. You are not fulfilling the needs. Fans are angry. Game is over, right?
okay. So how difficult is the game?
How difficult? It depends, because basically the difficulty of the game is caused not by the book, but they are causing by your actions. So if you are making proper choices and you are going throughout the game making the right decisions, the game is well to complete. However, if you are making wrong choice, the situation is making more difficult. What that means in practice, if you are making wrong economical choice, for example, it will be very hard to get back to the track. So you have to learn how to understand the economy of the game throughout the process. So this is what we call the difficulty of the game.
Okay, so you learn from the feedback from fans,
Yes.
but there's no like end statistic that you can see. Oh, I did this good.
Yes, there will be. There will be. However, throughout the process, you have to understand learning by your mistakes also.
Okay. So how long does it take to end the career mode?
Okay, in terms of career mode, we have a 3 games to organize, which gives you roughly around 18-22 hours to complete. However, in the single game mode, you have 6 clubs and 3 stadiums, so each game to organize is 6 hours of gameplay, which means that in this combination there is almost like 90 to 120 hours of the unique gameplay to experience to do. And moreover, there are these challenges and also endless mode, which is pretty interesting, but I cannot say why. But we are delivering the unique feature that gives the player opportunity to play even more than 100 hours to go.
Can you maybe give us a little sneak peek about licenses we can see in the future?
Basically, what I can say that we are choosing the clubs that are very representative of the countries where tycoons are very strong. So we want to give the representation of that. I can tell that there is a sort of derby context in particular parts, and this is all I can do.
Okay. I think this would be a game where there's maybe some creation component, like create your own club. Is there something you plan?
Nothing to confirm, but we are strongly thinking about that.
Okay. In terms of gameplay mechanics or like other cities, what's in the future? What's coming up next?
Basically, we have one city to announce and 3 clubs to announce. Of course, after the release, we want to add another content to the gameplay. We have to understand that also choosing the clubs are also let's say the component that community needs to be involved in. So on our Discord we are also making discussions, listening to the feedback and trying to find the best solution. So we want to stay in our concept, we want to stay in the relationship with the clubs and with the community, to treating the clubs as a real value to the game. So sort of exclusivity, considering the amount of clubs in the game is very important. But as you say in one of the last questions, we also thinking about the component of creation. So we are trying to be somewhere between the circle.
How does it work with the communication with the clubs? We talked about it earlier, but are they very supportive? Do they give you like restrictions? How does it
They
work?
are very supportive, especially in terms of supporting us also in communication, because all of our marketing activities are also reshared by them in the social media. So we are very grateful for that. However, in terms of communication regarding the license usage and also our creative concepts, considering that, they are also very helpful. The good example is fan bus of Arsenal. I don't know if you saw that, if you saw the bus, with the cannons shooting with the flares. So this is unique creative concept, very approved by them, because that means that we are understanding the roots of the clubs, which is the Gunners, right? So we are using the license in a proper way, also in our creative approach to them. So they are very open-minded in terms of that, because this is something unique as a concept. So they are also open for it, because it's not a very simulated, restricted game.
I think that's a very important value to your game. So when can we expect the release?
Release will come in the last quarter of the next year, hopefully.
Early access or full release?
Full release.
For PC, Xbox,
and PS5.
Great. Yeah, so thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And your answers. This was Copa City, a very interesting football simulation or tycoon game. But what do you call it?
I will call it tycoon games, tycoon society management game.
Let's say it like this. So check out our other videos about the Gamescom. We are out now. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.